Hello and welcome to Living Legacies of the Ozarks. My name is Hayden Head.
And my name is Sue Head, and we're coming to you today from the campus of College of the Ozarks from our Tractor Museum.
Which is an amazing place.
It is.
Among the other amazing places here on campus.
It gets a lot of visitors here.
Well, we do. And we have an excellent visitor with us today, one that I'm really happy to introduce, Chris Hunter. Chris is the director of Elevate Entrepreneurs at Elevate Branson, kind of my boss in a way, given that I get to participate in that program. But Chris, we are so happy that you're with us today. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much. I'm so honored to have the opportunity to speak with you.
Well, I'm so glad you're here. And why don't you just tell us a little bit, Chris, about Elevate Branson, about Elevate Entrepreneurs, your role there, and what you hope to achieve with your students.
Sure. So for Elevate Branson, we're all about next steps. So people in life are on a journey and sometimes they get stuck. So we are happy to serve anyone, but we typically serve the working poor. So the top three struggles of the working poor are affordable housing, affordable transportation, and then childcare. And then they often need help getting or keeping a job. Transportation helps them get to their job. Well, after somebody accomplishes those steps successfully, which is what we help them do, what might be a good next step for them? Well, maybe starting a side hustle or a side business to help supplement their income. So the example I like to use is someone wants to make candles. So they want to make candles and then sell them at the farmer's market on the weekend. Maybe they can make an extra $100, $200 a month, and that makes all the difference in the world.
That's right, because you're just trying to help people supplement their income so that they can, I guess you would say, break the shackles of poverty, right, of being held back, and so that they can live out their dreams.
Yes, and so we found it's difficult for people to move from one step to the next, or even from poverty to middle class, and it's rare that somebody makes it without somebody helping them. So we take them by the hand in Elevate Entrepreneurs, and we take them through a 12-week course. It's 3 hours a week on Tuesdays from 6 to 9 p.m. And then when we teach them something in class, they have about an hour of work outside of class, some people call it homework, to work on their business. So by the time they're end and they've worked on marketing and they've worked on financial projections and they get to the end, they have a complete business plan that they could take and show somebody, maybe a banker or an investor, and maybe that helps them get to their next step in their business.
Outstanding.
So I know during the class time, there's a lot of teaching and great practical information, but tell us about the community involvement in the class.
Absolutely. So there are people who find out about this, those in the community, and they say, how in the world can I help? And I say, I don't know, because I don't know you. I don't know what your strengths are, but I recognize that interest because that's how I got involved. I learned about it. I said, I've got to help. So I say, come and sit in on a class. We actually have a table in the back for people that want to come and just check it out and see what this is all about. Mm-hmm. So when they figure it out, we have positions for marketing coaches, which is what I came on as a volunteer, and financial coaches. We have some bankers and some accountants that will come and help. So as they're going through their journey and they have questions about marketing, how can I get my good or service in front of a potential customer, or financial help, how do I put together this P&L? What category does this fit in? Mm-hmm. These are people who just give their time and are happy to help and can get involved.
Now, what is P&L?
Profit and loss statement. So you take all the money you've made, let's say for a month, that's what I do for my side hustle, and then all of your expenses, and hopefully it spits out a positive number.
Right,
or we can make some adjustments.
Can you share a story with us of someone who successfully completed the class and how that impacted their life?
Yeah, so there's a lady, Mary Beth. She has goats, and she milks those goats. And then what is she going to do with the milk? Can only drink so much, so she decided to make goat milk soap. And so it apparently has special hydrating qualities that she could tell you all about it in the science, and I'm not sure about it. But what she does, she takes it, and they're actually works of art. They're beautiful colors, and they have pieces of oranges and all kinds of stuff. She has gotten into Finley Farms, Johnny Morris's place up in Ozark, which is a pretty big deal, at the farmer's market every Thursday afternoon, I think, this time of year. She got into Silver Dollar City, so yeah, that's a big one. So they had have like a fall craft festival, something like that. And so she was able to get in there, and apparently that's pretty difficult because once people get a spot, they come back for 25 years in a row. And so they loved her and have welcomed her back. And so she is on a journey. She was able to get a grant, which a lot of people like. So instead of maybe making a dozen bars at a time, maybe she can make a few dozen. And so that helps her be more efficient. And so she's just learning how to bootstrap and scale her business. And when she gets to a certain point, she's going to look at it and say, okay, now what do I want to do with this? Is this a real thing?
Wow, that's a great story.
That is great.
I'm excited for her.
Me too. In fact, excited for all the students. There's like this statistic, right, that goes with the program at Elevate Entrepreneurs. It's Rising Tide Capital, right, is the one that's put together the program. And we know that most businesses fail, right? But Rising Tide has got a really good track record. What is that?
I think the national average is that 50% of businesses fail, I'm going to say, in the first 2 years.
Wow.
And so their track record is those who go through the curriculum have an 87% success rate. So they're learning the things that other people are just trying to figure out on their own. They're just not sure what to do.
So they're being equipped with all the tools they need to be successful.
Absolutely. Makes me think of somebody who maybe they make a food item really well. And someone says, hey, you just make the best burgers ever. You should open a restaurant. Well, cooking a good burger and opening a restaurant are two completely different skill sets, but people don't know that. So we might take somebody who has an idea to open a food truck, and we take them by the hand and we teach them about P&Ls, where they might get financing, how to plate food, like how much each costs and what the profit margin should be. And that just helps them be more successful.
Sure.
So Chris, tell us about some of the businesses and the people that are putting those businesses together that have come through the Elevate Entrepreneurs program.
So we're on our 5th cycle of class. You could call it semester or cohort. And it's to the point where we can predict probably half of the participants. So there's usually going to be someone who wants to start a food truck, which we love. And sometimes it'll be like a Puerto Rican food truck or something exotic, which is really exciting. We're going to get 1 or 2 in the health or wellness space, maybe essential oils or a massage therapist, something like that. And then we'll get some manual labor. We'll get a welder, a handyman, someone who does yard work. We usually have 1 or 2 cleaning companies, and we've had 2 or 3 travel agents go through. And we have a travel agent, I think he was in our first class. He's probably our second most successful. So we have a good with the goat soap, and then we have a service with the travel agent. And so the program can service both. If you have something you physically hold or if you have a skill that you use.
Wow, that's great.
Tell us about the intersection between maybe businesses in the community and these. Can they mentor? I know you mentioned marketing and the accounting piece, but are there other things that people in the community can do to be involved or encourage?
So we see businesses, we see people come to the graduation. Okay, so what we've learned when we first started, we would take each of the students and we would film their 30-second elevator speech, which is what we teach them how to do in the first class, and then we would play it. And that was my favorite part of the whole graduation. That was great. Well, there was one time we had a last-minute crisis and the videos didn't work. That's the short story. So we had to scramble, and we decided we're going to set up a table for each of the students, participants, and they can come. It's just a small table, but if they have business cards or cookies, they make whatever it is their thing, they'll go over there. And then at the end of graduation, we encourage everyone. They've put together elevator speech. They need an opportunity to practice it. Will you go and visit at least maybe 2 or 3? Everybody stays and they visit all of them. And that's been very successful. So then people in the community can support them. They say, you can come and mow my lawn, or I'll tell my neighbor about the thing that you do. Maybe you can make cookies for my daughter's baby shower. And so that helps to encourage them and to help spread the word about their business.
Right.
Chris, I understand that this week, and you'll probably host these periodically, but you're going to have something called a Lunch and Learn. What kind of program is that, and how does that intersect with Elevate Entrepreneurs?
One thing that we love to do is teach them the power of networking. And with Hayden and with Jim Freeman helping us out too, they see it as well. And so the goal of this event is to get everyone in a room, and so we'll feed them. That seems to help get people in the room. Get everyone in the room, and I'm going to teach them a really unique way to network when people say network, they usually think guys in suits exchanging business cards. Maybe it's kind of stuffy or it's difficult or awkward. We're going to try to take all the awkwardness out. And it's not how to get referrals, but it's how to give referrals. And the idea is everyone in the room is giving referrals, then you're getting referrals from everyone in the room. We did it one time with our graduates. It was just kind of at the last second on a whim, scribbled some stuff on the marker board. This is what we're going to do. So we have 1, 2, 3 rounds. And by the end, people stand up. They were supposed to leave. They're talking with each other. They're exchanging their neighbor's phone number and contact information so that they can use their goods and services. And it was time to go. And I was ready to go home, and they're still talking. And I was reminded that's the hard part, the connection and the interaction, so that was really good.
Wow. So you're able to set up an environment where people feel comfortable talking to each other about whatever their aspirations and dreams are and exchange that information.
Yeah, and we're kind of going on this. What we've seen socially, especially from younger people as they're teaching us, to have a social interaction, even like we're doing now, is increasingly rare and awkward. And I think it has a lot to do with text culture and maybe with video games. It's just that separation from being in person and thinking on your feet. So we're trying to remove some of that awkwardness. Because if I say, Hayden, will you please go and talk to Sue about your business? I've given you permission to do that. And so that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, that's exciting. Can't imagine the difference it's making in their lives.
We also try to be very sensitive to introverts that might be in the room.
Sure.
Because we don't want to put them in an uncomfortable situation. But being able to handle people with kid gloves and hopefully help them get the leads that they need and create an environment where they can use their network to help others. That's what we're hoping to accomplish.
That's great. That's great.
Well, Chris, we have both been admirers of Elevate Branson and all your programs that you have. And I feel like Elevate Entrepreneurs is just another addition that's really so special for our community and for the people that get to go through that program. So thank you for all that you do there. And it's a great program.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for giving people in our community who are struggling hope.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time and for helping us get the word out about
Absolutely.
Elevate Entrepreneurs.
Oh, it's our pleasure. And thank you for joining us here at Living Legacies of the Ozarks. We hope you have a great day. Living Legacies of the Ozarks is brought to you by Ozark Mountain Legacy, College of the Ozarks, the Herschend Family Foundation, Meyer Hotels, and Sight and Sound Theaters.